So to make this mask without a sewing machine, so all hand sewn, I'm going to need some material, and I've got this gorgeous spotty cotton material. My daughter chose it. This is a mask for her. So I've got the material, I've got some stretchy elastic to form the ear loops to hold onto your face for the mask. I've got some cotton and a needle for sewing. I've got a selection of pins to pin it all in place while I cut it, scissors for the cutting, and I've also got, very important part, these templates which I've already made in child size. So I have got the shiny side up. So I've got 2 of each side. So 2 and 2, like that. So I always do them with the shiny side up so I can tell which ones are which. And then what I'll do is I need to cut these out of the material, and I'll sew them together like that, and they are double layered, and that's why I have 2 of each. So I can cut them out in one go rather than having to reuse. Now the size of these, like I said, they are child mask. So across at the widest point is approximately, that's the widest point there, is approximately 11.5 centimetres, so 115 millimetres. And then at the tallest part here, we are looking at 12.5 centimetres roughly, so 125 mil. And then at the smallest here is approximately 6 centimetres, so 60 millimetres. What I'll do is I'll add a template for these in the comment sections below that people can use. I'll set that up on my laptop and add that in after I upload the video. So the first thing I need to do is I need to pin out these shapes on the material for the mask. I'll try and pin them as close to possible on the material. However, there is a slight seam there, so just allow for that while you're doing it. Keep in mind how you want the pattern to look. If you're not bothered, then just cut them out regardless. But if you're looking to try and keep a pattern, or if there is a pattern in the material that you want to keep in line when you do the mask, just keep that in mind while you're cutting. I'm not going to bother too much. I don't mind them being a bit off. So using my selection of pins, going to pin them down, cut them out, and then once I've just got the material shapes, I will go around and pin them together, and I will sew them together. So I will pin these 2 here together like that, and then I will pin these 2 here together like that. And once I've done that, I'll have 2 halves, and then I will pin them together, sew around the edge, turn it the right way, and then finish off the sewing slightly on the edge, and then I will have my double layered mask ready to go. Then all that's left then would be the loops for the ears. Okay, so for an adult mask, I cut these elastics to about 7 inches long. However, as this is a child mask, I'm going to do it slightly less, maybe about 5.5 inches, and then that is roughly about 14 centimetres. And that just depends on the size of the child. I mean, you can always measure it once you've got your mask complete, the actual material part complete, then hold it up to the child, because you're going to fold the edges in slightly like this, so that you have a tunnel there for the elastic to go through, and then you can measure up how much space you need for the ears. But I would suggest it's probably going to be about 5.5 centimetres, so somewhere between 13 and 14 centimetres, depending on your child. That's it, I'll get through. I'll point out the sections where I'm going to sew as I go on, but I will just get on with it now. So the first thing I'm doing, I'm pinning my templates to the material, and once they're all securely pinned in, I will cut them out. Now I have all 4 templates cut out. I need to remove the pins, and then I will re-pin into the position. So I've got the front mask, the first layer, and then the back mask, which is the second layer. So here are the 4 pieces for the mask, and as you can see, I've got them laid out as if you have, this is the front layer here and the top layer. So I need to put them wrong side out on top of each other, and then pin them back together to make sure that they don't move. So I just align the edges like I'm doing now. Then I'll put a pin round all the edges. I secure all 4 edges, just so there's no wriggle room for the material. But if you're more comfortable with sewing, then please just pin the edge that you're going to be sewing. So now the first part of sewing, I'm going to sew down these edges that I'm pointing out on the screen now. So get my thread, needle, thread them along, and I'm just going to do a simple stitch forwards and backwards over the edge just to make sure that it is secure. And here they are, the first layer and second layer of your mask. So I'm just turning them right side out so you can see how they look at the moment with that seam that we have run down the middle. The next step in this make is to secure these 2 layers together. So they need to be wrong side out again, and then we will turn them correct side a bit later in the process once we've sewn mostly all the way around the edge. So here I am laying them on top of each other incorrectly, flipping that over, there we go. So the correct side faces in on both layers, as you can see there. And as before, I will now use my pins to pin the edges once aligned together so that they don't move while I'm sewing. So I'll put this all around the 4 edges, so the 2 short sides and then the longer side over the top of the nose and the one that goes underneath your chin. And as before, sewing around all the edges of the mask. But this instance, we need to leave potentially a 1 to 2 centimetre gap along one of the sides in the corners so that we can turn our mask the right side out once we've finished. And once we've done that, we will close the gap. If you're enjoying this video, please do give it a massive thumbs up, and if you're not already, do subscribe to my channel to be one of the first to know when I upload a new crafty inspiration video. With the mask sewn all around the edge, apart from this little hole, now you've got to be very careful not to split any stitching. You're just easing it bit by bit, turn the mask the correct side out, everything will come through this hole. Just please be careful, but it will come through. With the mask turned the correct side, we just need to fill that hole that I was referring to. So you just get your needle and thread again and just carefully do a couple of invisible stitches, so trying to stitch down into the hem as much as possible so that they're not visible, and close up that hole. And there's the basic shape of the mask. Then the next step is to make the ear loops. So I'm getting my elastic and I'm measuring these out. And like I said, I'm looking at about 14 centimetres or so, but it just depends on the size of the child that you're making these for. So we'll need to cut 2 of these using the ruler just so that they are the correct length. Now we have the elastic, we need to make the channels or tunnels, whatever you wish to call them, for the elastic to feed through at the edge of the mask. So to do that, I fold over about 1 centimetre on itself at one of the short ends of the mask, pin that in place so it doesn't move, and then I'll repeat that on the other side of the mask. And now both the tunnels are in place, we're going to sew down here and here, each side of the mask, and then I can remove the pins and then we will insert the elastic. The easiest way I find to insert the elastic is to get a bamboo skewer, it's the kind of thing you would use on your barbecue, and cut a small strip from your sticky tape and attach the elastic to the pointy end of your bamboo skewer, and then using the other end you can poke it through the tunnel you've made in your mask, pulling through the elastic as you go. Once your elastic is through, remove the sticky tape and the bamboo skewer, do the other side, and then tie a simple double knot in the elastic and feed the elastic through so the double knot is hidden in the tunnel of the mask. Once you've done this on both sides, your mask is complete.